Hey friends, welcome to our conversation, Adam and Adam. We should make a podcast.
That sounds great. I brought
Yeah.
a picture for you.
Oh yeah. Oh no,
You like that?
I don't. I don't like that at all. And it's funny that I'm wearing my Michigan gear.
I
But
saw it.
anyway, seniors, hello. We are. Yeah, we're just kind of beginning the conversation of what it looks like to transition to Sozo. As you know, Adam Schultz is the director of Sozo. Him and his wife Angie just work together really well to provide a great space for that ministry and for young adults at Oak Point. So, but before we begin, Adam, tell us a little bit about yourself and like maybe even your journey and what led you to Oak Point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw the Ohio State, sign. That's part of the deal. So
Yeah.
my wife and I we're from Ohio, and I was born in like Southern Ohio in the sticks, just kind of, yeah, that was that. Angie was born in Toledo and grew up there. But yeah, her and I met actually down in Kentucky at school. And so that was pretty neat. And then really what brought us to Michigan, she graduated and became like a children's director at a church. And so she was working there. She's a little bit older than I am. And I was coming up all the time to see her on the weekends and, in the summers and stuff. And I was like, hey, I need to just transfer up to this place. So, yeah, we met down in Kentucky, it was good. It was a Bible college. It was all new for me. Like I became a Christian super late into high school. So like the whole growing up in church, like that was not even part of our DNA as a family at all. And so, even to this point, like not many in my family are Christians. And so it's an interesting track, and same even with Angie's, family in that sense too. So, yeah, so just following Jesus became really important to me. Going into college, I was an education major. I always wanted to be a teacher. I always wanted to be a coach. Like that was a non-negotiable, no matter what happened. And then like Jesus came in and I was like, yes, I want to be a teacher and a coach even more so, and just be on mission. But then when I transferred from Kentucky up to Michigan, I went to Eastern Michigan and graduated from there. And I got super involved in campus ministry, and I was like, there's nothing else I want to do. I had kind of a conversion moment, a call to ministry. And then that was a while back. And, it's been kind of, this steady pursuit ever since, which has been really fun. So I became a youth pastor in 2007 and was that for really 9 years. And so part of that was just like, that's all I knew. Middle school ministry, high school ministry. I loved, man, middle schoolers they're crazy, and they're so passionate and they'll do whatever you ask them to do. Like
Yep.
they're kind of dumb in that sense too.
Mm-hmm.
But I really fell in love with them, and I loved being able to work with high schoolers and seeing their passions come alive and seeing their hearts come alive to say, hey, I think I want to do this with my life. And then, it's that coaching mindset of, look, okay, great. You have this incredible influence, this incredible potential. Like I want to come alongside of you and develop that. So that's kind of been ministry, and Angie, it's my wife, like we've been able to do that together for a really long time. And, yeah, so now we're at Oak Point. It'll be 4 years in July that we've been here, which it's gone by so fast, and we loved every second of it. But we have a crazy family with 3 kiddos, 9, 7, and 5. You'll see plenty of them if you're around at all, or even like Monica Robinette. I mean, she knows her kids really, really well, and she can just kind of attest to that. But they're just such a joy. Completely. Angie and I have been married. It'll be 12 years this summer, and which has been really fun just to navigate with her. So that's a little bit about us. Like, yeah, we're Buckeyes. We love Ohio State in that sense, which is okay.
It's proof
Actually,
that God
when I
truly
went to
does
school,
love everybody.
When I went to school at Eastern, I worked at U of M, and so I had like credentials, so to say. I had a U of M address. Or email address. It was crazy. And I was like, man, I feel like I have access. I could use their weight rooms if I wanted to. I was practically a student.
Wow.
So
you could have sabotaged them and you didn't. So that's
it's the first time I've ever told anybody this.
Wow. It's the grace of God in your life right there.
It is. So, but
man,
we love Oak Point. Like I love college students and like young professionals, young adults in general, because similar to middle schoolers, like the passion is there, and the desire for life and risk and like living out the mission of God and following Jesus anywhere. I love every second of ministry with young adults.
That's amazing.
That's a snippet. There you go.
Yeah. And, I'm sure the seniors will get to know you a little bit more as they dive into Sozo. But let's talk about Sozo for a little bit, just because I
Yeah.
feel like that's why we're on this call. So 707 seniors can, in this weird season of quarantine, when they really can't meet you physically, they could get to know you a little bit. And you already mentioned Monica knows you. Probably some other people know you. But there's a good amount that probably don't. So talk about Sozo. Kind of what's your heartbeat for it? Maybe the mission of it. We'll start there and then we'll dive into some more details.
Absolutely. So the word Sozo, we'll kind of we'll start with that. Man, that came about really as a dream. Like we had a group of people getting together and praying, and it's like we need a name that gives us identity, but then also a purpose, a mission. And Sozo means to be rescued or healed or delivered. And it's like, Jesus, he does that for us. Like he has rescued us. But then not only that, it's not like, okay, you're saved, just, go through life and go to heaven when you die. It's like, no, like join me in the rescue of other people. And so like, I just think the name itself, it wasn't me in my office just coming up with it. It was like this group effort of like, okay, like we are rescued. So we are a community of people who've been rescued by Jesus. And like, we want to go after other people and loving them well with the gospel. So like Sozo is it's a community of young adults trying to live out the way of Jesus. And it's I don't know, it's pretty incredible in that sense. So kind of our heartbeat, like from the very beginning, is to be a ministry that equips and unleashes young adults to be kingdom leaders. Like before, Oak Point kind of, had a clear mission statement to know Jesus and make him known. It's like, well, we need rails to run on. So like, let's equip and let's unleash, kingdom leaders. So that kind of is really the heartbeat behind everything that we do. And now kind of the way that we say that, like the way that we'll live out our mission is to know Jesus intimately, to be known authentically, and to make him known intentionally. So we kind of wrap in Oak Point's mission because we're obviously part of Oak Point.
Right.
And so that's kind of how it is. So it's like, you and Jesus, like, man, that intimacy needs to be there. And we use that word intimacy on purpose because like, it's almost a shock to the system. We're like, whoa, can I actually have a relationship like that with Jesus? And it's like, yeah, you can. But then to do that in the context of community is so vital. And I mean, whether you're in high school or you're in college or you're a young professional, everybody needs community, and the quality of community is so vital to who we become. And then lastly, like, let's just make Jesus known intentionally. And that's where it's really fun. It's not haphazard. It's not like, if I feel like it, it's like, no, like God has called us to this. And so as a ministry, we kind of circle around those things over and over again. So that's kind of awesome. Like, I think one of the things that really, is maybe a little different, if we want to jump into that a little bit, but like a little different from 707 is like our young adults lead everything. Like I am, I'm essentially, I'm the young adult pastor, but I shouldn't actually be probably on this interview. It should be our entire ministry team. But like young adults lead everything. They lead all of our serve teams. They lead all of our life groups. They lead all of our mission trips, local and international. Like, yes, I'm there. I'm involved. I come alongside and coach and like direct and lead, but they're the ones really with the influence. And we want our ministry to be that, because it's like, if I were up there just telling everybody what to do, then we would create a bunch of followers. We wouldn't be creating leaders. And so I just really believe every young adult, whether they're an introvert or an extrovert, like they have like really great influence with the people around them, even if it's one person. And so we want to build that up in them and, kind of unleash them in that sense. So it's kind of, that's a big part of Sozo. It's risky because they're like, oh, you're going to entrust an entire ministry to like college students? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jesus kind of did that with the disciples, and it turned out pretty good. And if we can do that too with the protection of, leadership and stuff, we want to be able to do that. So it's like, yeah, why not take risks? Why not take risks on people and different mission opportunities?
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I love that you even went there with the differences between 707 and Sozo, because I do feel like when you get to the age of a senior in high school, I mean, I remember this in high school, you are looking for something different. You're looking for something more. You're looking for something, non-youth group-ish. even though youth group is awesome, it has its place. It's phenomenal. But to have some more ownership, to have that next step as to what you were talking about, I think it's phenomenal. And knowing our seniors, I think they're ready for it.
It's cool.
It's super cool. So like, what are some of the similarities? What's your programming like? I hear a rumor that Jacob leads worship there. So like, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you do it.
Yeah. I would say like our rhythms are probably pretty similar in that sense. And I think if you look at most ministries, even across the nation and the world, they're going to have a large group component. There's going to be teaching of the Bible from the Bible. And like we do that every week. You're going to have some kind of music worship component. It is true. Jacob Schmidt, he leads worship for us most of the time, but then even like, honestly, even with him, like he brings in so many other people to either lead with him or to get other voices in there. So they could be college students up to, Carrie Pugh leads sometimes as well. And she just has a heart of gold. And so he does that. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of our large gathering is a lot of connecting community time, music, and then, like the word.
That's awesome.
So we try to keep it pretty simple in that sense. We have life groups. That's a difference. Like we don't do life groups on Sunday nights when we meet. So tune in Sunday night, YouTube. But we do them off site. So like every night of the week, every day of the week, we have life groups, that are young adult led. Some are meeting in the morning, some middle of the day, some at night. So a lot of that is it's driven that way. So similar rhythms, but just different ways. We also do, we do mission trips locally. We do mission trips internationally. We partner with the same, Bold Hope organization. Yep. So those are some similarities there as well.
Cool.
So like kind of the core rhythms that you want to have in churches and in ministries, like we do the same things. It's just kind of how we roll them out. It looks a little different, but I think the big thing on Sunday nights that really drives what we do, we want to have real people talking about real things in real ways. And so if we can do that, then like vulnerability will be there, authenticity will be there. Like what you see is what you get. Like there's not going to be any like fluff or BS or anything like that. Like what you see is what you get, which we love. Yeah. And I think is hopefully refreshing for people. So like right now we're going through a series on addiction, anywhere from like chemical addiction to substances, to sexual addictions, to like codependency on people. And, we're bringing different voices in. Some of our young adults are speaking themselves. Cool. And so we're trying to create a space where you can talk about anything in life because, Jesus he's there in the midst of everything. And so the more that we can talk about it and get it out in the open, the more light can shine. And, more people are willing to share then, especially those who don't know Jesus. And like, wow, this is a different type of community than I've ever been part of. And we've heard that quite a bit about Sozo.
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit, like we're nearing the transition. Like if quarantine wasn't happening, there would be a Memorial Day party for seniors and they could attend. It'd be a big gathering. At this, when we're recording this, the governor just extended the stay-at-home order through that. And so that's obviously not happening. So to talk a little bit about the importance of seniors still engaging. I know you mentioned Sunday nights on YouTube. Talk about that. And also talk about the importance of like, once that kind of key transition time of Memorial Day happens, why it's pretty important that they would even still reach out and learn more about life groups for you, even though we're actually allowing them to kind of stay in their senior life group for a little bit longer. Talk about why it's important to actually double up and to actually like get to know some of you and your ministry.
No, that's good. I mean, like kind of, the why behind it is like community is so important. And when you have like solid friends who can encourage you and can challenge you to follow and trust Jesus, like you will start to become, like them. You will, in a good way. In the same way, if you have friends that, that aren't encouraging and they're just, they're jerks all the time, like you'll probably become a jerk and you don't want that. And so part of it is like, it's just really good to get connected. And as you know, like you're transitioning out of high school. You're like, I'm older. Like I am actually an adult now. And I think 18-year-olds, like they're adults. And so we will treat you like an adult. And Like we don't force you into any group, but it's an invitation. And, we have different types of group. We have like all men's groups, all women's groups. We have some co-ed groups, ones that are specifically geared for, people coming out of high school into college, kind of college age. And so part of that is like, we want you to get, connected into the community. And because of that, because it is quite a bit of an age range, 18 to 29. It doesn't mean that like you're a senior in high school hanging out with a 29-year-old. That could seem a little strange. And you're like, and same like, right. Why is a 29-year-old hanging out with an 18-year-old? But like you are in the same space when we are able to gather. And I think that just creates like a richness of the community, because there can be a sharing of wisdom. And like, a 29-year-old, and we don't have that many of them, but even a 25-year-old is a different generation than an 18-year-old. And so like there's some like-mindedness that can be shared, but then there's also just like we can learn from the seniors. And I really want to learn as much as possible on what culture looks like and how to engage. So you never want to like step out of ministry and mission, because like you want to stay involved, because I really believe that's one of the best ways to really get to know who you are as a person. Like what's your identity? Is your identity in Christ? What kind of community do you have around you? Like who's going to sharpen you and strengthen you? And then like, how are you using the gifts that God has given you to serve people, whether it's in the church or whether it's outside the church? Now it's probably going to weigh more outside the church, which I think is good because of the quarantine. But I mean, I'll be honest, I'm grieving the fact that like we can't get together. Typically, seniors, we would throw you a giant party. Last year we did it at Barn 45, and it was awesome. And which is, it's a local site. The year before we've done it here, we've done it at different, state parks around, but it's just a giant cookout, lots of fun, like really great music, and just trying to connect you in and just to say thank you and welcome. When we are able to get back together, we're going to do the same thing, because like as soon as you step into, and that's even like checking us out online, or actually stepping into a physical gathering, like we believe you're part of us, like you're part of the family. And so we want to care about you. We want to nurture you and equip you and unleash you, so to say. But it's vital from a connection standpoint, because like, relationships take trust, and trust just takes a little bit of time to build. And we know that. And so when you can get in and start being part of our community, you kind of understand the culture and the ethos. And I really honestly believe that it's magnetizing, like they'll want to be part of it. And so, so actually we need the seniors to fill out our community, to teach us and shape us in a way that only that they can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, dude, we could probably talk for a long time about this, this transition, and even just what makes a successful transition into college from high school. And, I'm sure we could talk about factors of that. Maybe that will be for potentially a different YouTube video or podcast or whatever we turn this into. Mm-hmm. But, as we close, I would love to hear a little bit about what you're doing during quarantine, because I know you were actually like, you couldn't leave your house for 14 days at one point. And that was super interesting for you, because as an extrovert, I'm an extrovert, so this quarantine's been interesting for me. Talk about what you're doing to kind of stay sane, and maybe if you have a couple tips for our seniors who are getting real antsy, just like all of us. What are you doing that could help?
Yeah, great. It's like the day that the quarantine pretty much happened, we had a really close friend die, really from COVID, and close family friends. I actually was like in the hospital with him and his wife, and he passed. And so like we were obviously infected, and not infected, but like came in contact. And so yeah, we had to quarantine. That was really lonely, for sure. It's like we like can't even see anybody. Like people like please don't even come on our property. But like we were showered with love in such an incredible way. Like people that we didn't even know, like were sending us meals through the mail. Like we're literally dropping on our front porch and running away. They didn't want to breathe the same air that we were in. But so that was really lonely. So for me, like the first 2 weeks was really hard and really dark, just to be honest. A lot of kind of lamenting in that sense. And I remember waking up one morning, it was super early, and I like getting up early in that sense. So it was 4:30. I woke up, and I was like, Jesus, something has to change. Like something has to be different. Because like, I feel like I'm spiraling down, and I think I'm bringing my family down with me. And so it's just one of those like self come to Jesus moments. I'm like, okay, what are the things that I need? What are the rhythms that I need in my life every single day? And so one of the things that I studied back in seminary was the rule of life. And so, and there's a really good book that, you know, you and I love. It talks about rule of life.
Yep.
And so like, I just went back to my rule of life, and it's like, okay, what are the rhythms that I need every single day? And so that was, I need simplicity. So like, I actually have to plan out my day. I have to know, you know, within a ballpark, like when I wake up, I'm going to exercise. And when I wake up, or when I'm done exercising, I'm going to spend time with the Lord, reading and praying. And then the family's going to wake up. And then I even felt like I need more time. So I'm going to get up earlier, which is stupid, but, and then like, I really want to be present with my family. And so there's going to be chunks of time that I have to work. So I might come to the office for a little bit or sit on the front porch, but then I really want to be present with my kids. And so there's like a large portion of playtime. So we started running a little bit as a family. We started doing, they left the lights on in every single room all the time. So I'm like, kids, every time you leave a light on, 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 squats, which you know, you probably think I'm insane. You're like, I'm not joining Sozo if you're making me push-ups, but it was a good discipline and a good rhythm for us as a family. And it was like this mutual accountability of like, guys, like we got to work together. Dad's going to go crazy on us. And you know, it was like, and I did push-ups with him. It was cool. So just some of like, I had to build in like, what are the rhythms and the priorities that I have to have so that like my soul can rest, but I can actually like be present with the people around me, and not just kind of stay stuck in my grief cycle, so to say. So that was part of it. And it's like, we're able to connect with neighbors because we get outside every single day with bike rides and walks. That's just a really important rhythm for us. Scripture and prayer is a really important rhythm for us. A lot of play, which is really fun too. So awesome. I need to exercise. I need to, like, I have to challenge myself. So like, you know, we talked about this the other night, but like I committed myself one morning to do 100 burpees a day because I hate them. But I'm doing that because it gets me activated and awake so that I can like be present to the Lord when I meet with him. Yep. So that's all it is. It's like, what can I do to get awake in the morning? Yeah. 100 burpees will wake you up.
Yep. And it'll also do a lot of other unhealthy things. So have fun with that. I'm just kidding.
So
no, you're going to be jacked by the end of this, and we're all not going to be. So good job.
I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, anyway, who knows if anyone's still watching this?
Yeah, but, I don't even know.
Thanks for hopping on. Truly, our heart obviously is for our seniors to transition well and to dive into another thriving ministry here at Oak Point. And it's just good to see your face. It's good to hear your heart for Sozo. And seniors, there's more to come for sure. More info to come on like what we're doing to help you through this transition, but we just wanted to get face to face as best as we could, and get you to meet Adam. So thanks, man.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a joy. And I would just say like, yeah, seniors, whether you are, or in the fall might be obviously unknown, but whether you're planning to go away or you're going to even just, you know, you're here, like get connected in, even if it's for 2 months, you know, before you head off somewhere out of state for school or, you know, a little bit further away. Like, you know, it's a time to really grow. It's a time to really leverage the community that you have, to meet Jesus in ways that you never have before. And so, yeah, let's just leverage the summer and the time that we have together. So thank you.
That's awesome. See you guys later.
All right. Bye-bye.